I do love scraps, but what can I make out of them? We shall see. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, October the 24th, 2022, and it's vlog number 287. And so let's get right into what I've been working on. Just came off a retreat. Yes, my Idiot Quilter retreat. Many of you were there. Thank you for attending if you did. And for those of you that didn't attend, well, sucks to be you because you missed it out on a good time. And if you saw Stephen and Walter live yesterday, we dissected it a little bit. Why? So I can make it better, even better, the next time. But I'm still a little bit on a high from that and a little bit tired out as well. And this is going to be a busy next few days as well. More about that later. But let's jump right into what I've been working on. And here are some pieces. Don't look like much, but they are for the 8th month of the Block of the Month Lakeside quilt that I'm taking a class. I've been taking this class for 8 months. Yep, we're getting close to the end. So these are all the blocks done for this month. I'm ahead of the game because it won't be until November when I get the next installment for this quilt. Actually, in November, we're going to get 2 months at once. I think the instructor's getting a little tired of it, and to be honest, I'm getting a little tired of it too. It's going to be really nice when it's done, but I just want to get it done. Yeah. And I think some people in our class want to get it done before Christmas because I think they're planning to give it as a Christmas gift to someone. So I've been working on that, and if one block of the month is good, 2 are even better. So this is the second class that I've been taking, and both these classes are online. And this is called Color Splash, and we have done block month 1 and month 2. And I have both those months completed. Again, it was a very productive week last week. I got a lot of things out of the way. This was one of them. So you've seen the center section before, that's applique, and there is a lot more applique to come with this quilt, but that's for future months. And the border all the way around that applique piece was this month's challenge. And yeah, I really like the colors in it because they fit my palette. You know, I like bold and beautiful and bright. And this one definitely fits that criterion. Okay, so that's what I have been up to. So that takes me to the YouTube channel of the week. And this one I've talked about, well, something that I discovered by accident. You know that if you shop on Amazon a lot, and who doesn't, a day without Amazon is a day without sunshine, at least for me. You've probably seen Amazon brands. They're sort of generic store brand kind of thing. Well, I have bought several of those Amazon brands, and I've been very happy with them. But not everybody is, and I found a YouTube video that talks about why Amazon brands are hated by other people in the retail business. So here's my little review of that. This week's YouTube channel of the week is one that has to do with Amazon. Now, I've talked about Amazon before, and I have a Prime membership, and there are some pluses and some minuses to having all of that. And I also get their, because I have Prime, I also get their television station or their streaming service kind of a thing. But, you know, I buy a lot from Amazon. And what I have found is that they have a growing number of their own products, kind of like when you go into a grocery store and they have their own store brands and things like that. Well, Amazon has their own as well, and they're called Amazon Basics. Well, here's a video that I found that explains what the secretive business, as they call it, of Amazon's 100 plus private label brands. And I found this really interesting because it takes you on the inside track about how Amazon creates their own product line and whether or not they're doing something that, well, not so much illegal, but suggests maybe that they are stealing ideas from other manufacturers in order to turn a buck. So this was a really great video for this. It gives you some food for thought. Not that it's going to probably change your mind as to whether or not you're going to buy things from Amazon, but I think it does give you a little bit more information on what goes into how Amazon brands their products. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I suggest you watch this video called The Big Secretive Business of Amazon's 100 plus private label brands. So you'll find the link for that YouTube video in the show notes below. You're going to find some other links too, and I don't want you to get confused about some of these links, because now that I'm running different types of sew days or events from my YouTube channel, it's easy to get some of these mixed up. So just bear with me and follow along if you can. First of all, I have something called Sew Craft With Me, the Idiot Quilter, and that is a reoccurring meeting, or whatever you want to call it, Zoom link. It never changes, it never expires. And if I'm sitting here during the week or something sewing away by myself, then I will activate that. And if the same thing is happening to you, you're sitting there and you'd like a little company while you work on something, just click on the link. And if I'm here, I let you in. And you'll know if I'm here because I'll let you in within a minute for that. So yeah, come and join me. Now, when do I do this? I don't know. Whenever the mood hits me. So you just have to, it's one of those things, kind of like you're sitting down and you're thinking to yourself, hey, it would be nice to have a little company while I'm working on my sewing, my crocheting, my knitting, my art journaling, my mixed media piece, my art, whatever. Click on the link, see if I'm here, and we can get together that way. Now, the next link is Craft and Chat. Craft and Chat happens the first Wednesday of every month. As you know, if you're a regular here, you've heard this many times before. And the next Craft and Chat is coming up November the 2nd. That's next week, a week from this Wednesday now, kind of thing. And that happens at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, runs until approximately 4 p.m. If you're on my mailing list, you will get a notice of that with the link embedded in the email a few days before. So watch your email for that. If you want to be on that mailing list, it's very simple. All you need to do is send me an email asking me to put you on the list. And my email address is always in my show notes below. And that goes for pop-up sew days as well, if you want to be on that mailing list. And if you want to be on the retreat mailing list as well, you can put your name down for that too, or let me know. I'll talk more about retreat stuff in a moment. Okay, so let's see. That takes me to, then there's the links, as I said, to the YouTube video that I was just talking about. And there is a link to all of my different videos that went up last week. There's also some additional links this time because at the retreat I had 3 guest speakers, and some people requested that, could I record those presentations and then post them after the fact because they couldn't make the retreat or they couldn't make that time schedule or something like that. So with the permission of the presenters, I have done just that. I recorded their presentations, which were excellent, and I have posted them. They're posted as The Idiot Quilter Presents, but you'll find them on my YouTube channel there. And you just click on the link and you can watch their presentation, and the presentations are very good. Adam from Adam Sews was one of the presenters. He talked about his art dolls and his bag making, all very, very wonderful. Kris O'Neill of Sew the Distance talked about antique quilts and how she got into collecting them and what they can tell us about well, the time period and the people who did the quilting of them. Again, very interesting. And Lynn Reinhart of Cotton Art Studio, she is a certified appraiser of quilts, and she talked about how one values a quilt. What dollar amount do you assign? And the ins and outs of doing all of that, because I found that very enlightening, because there's a lot more to it than you would think. So all of those presentations are linked, and you'll find the links in the show notes below. There's also a link to the show and share slideshow that is based upon whatever the participants in the quilt show sent to me in advance, and I put together a quilt show of their lovely creations. And they're not just quilts. I call it a quilt retreat. Someone called me out on that, or quilt slideshow. I got called out on that because, yes, I should have expanded that term, because it's not all quilts. It's artwork, it's other creations as well. So that's all there for you. So there's a lot of things for you to watch this week and to keep you out of mischief. Okay, so that takes me to what things are looking like outside my window today. This is a little different perspective. Usually I take it from one of my cameras that's actually upstairs and out my window there. But since I got the new iPhone and the newest upgrades to the iPhone, my picture isn't as big. So then I got thinking, well, what else can I do to take a picture? Well, I have a Ring doorbell. So I did that. So it's a little different perspective, but it's the same tree. And you can see the tree has turned, excuse me, hiccups, and it's dropping its leaves. Now, Walter's already been out there raking up leaves. I said to him, why don't you wait till they all fall down? And he says, no, it's too much work. Do it now. So yeah, he's going to have to go out there again to rake up more leaves. But yes, fall is definitely here, and it is the tail end of October. Hard to believe. And then suddenly one morning I'm going to get up and that tree will be completely bare and the sky will be gray, and it's going to look like that for 4 months or longer. Not looking forward to that, but can't stand the way of Mother Nature, can we? Okay, so that takes me to what's pissing me off this week. Well, next Monday, 1 week from today, is Halloween. Now, as a kid, I loved Halloween. What kid doesn't? Free candy. Get dressed up in a costume, go from door to door. You might be able to stay up a little later that night, depending on whether or not it's a school night. Yeah, we were all excited about it as kids. Not so excited anymore as an adult. And there's several factors for this, okay? First of all, what's it going to look like this year? We had COVID for the last couple of years. We basically have not given out anything. We kept the porch light off, the door shut, even had a sign, sorry, due to COVID, go home. You little disease spreaders. Well, it didn't quite say that, but that's what I meant. This year, things have all, people are now calling the COVID, speaking of it in the past tense. Wrong. It's not in the past tense. It's still here. We're just learning how to live with it, but it's still there. It's still spreadable. And yeah, but I think I will give out candy this year. Now I'm going to go to the door and I'm going to be wearing a mask, and I don't mean a Halloween mask. Okay. I'm going to be wearing my mask that I wear when I go out to shop. Okay. Because we all know kids are little disease spreaders. And yeah, they just are. But, so that's one factor that's making Halloween, like, do I bother? Do I want to? I bought my Halloween candy, and that's the other thing. Holy crap. Have you checked the prices of Halloween candy this year? I think this is the most I've ever spent on a box of little mini chocolate bars. And believe me, every year they get more mini. They used to be, decent size, half the size of a full bar. And then they worked their way down to the 2-bite. Now and then they went to a 1-bite. And now they're like, okay, sniff it. There's your chocolate. That's it. A kind of a thing. But the price has not decreased. The size of the chocolate bars and the candy may have decreased, but the price has not. And it is extremely high. Now, let's think about this, shall we? What are we doing? First of all, Halloween, in the format we know it today, was not, it was created by candy manufacturers. Okay? Why? To sell candy. Of course it was, to sell candy. And then costumes and decorations. And each year there's more things that you can purchase for Halloween. You get out there, decorate the house like it was Christmas. And people do. On our street, there are all kinds of those blow up things by air. There's a great big, huge Halloween cat next door. I kind of like it. But it's, you know, but all along the street, there's all kinds of decorations. Um, Ours, no. My house, no. Inside, though, you've seen them. I've shown you them, but I made most of those things. But, it's just another money grab by the commercial interests. So, why are we spending all this money on something that Christmas is around the corner? Really, save your money for that. And then we're giving out death. Are we not? Think about it. What's the nutritional value of candy? None. Whole lot of sugar. Do kids need more sugar? Does anybody need more sugar? No, we don't. But dentists love it, don't they? Yeah. Give those kids all that sugar, make their teeth rot out of their head, and take them off to the dentist and line the coffers of the dentist's pockets, kind of a thing. So, yeah, that's a really good thing. Oh, nutritional treats? Like, let's give out apples and carrots, shall we? Yeah, first of all, kids aren't thrilled by that. And second of all, giving out apples or homemade goodies and things like that, really frowned upon, more than frowned upon, for a variety of reasons. And we all know what those are. Can you say razor blade in the apple? Okay, so why do we do this? Why? I say get rid of Halloween. There's even some places I saw on the news that because Halloween this year falls on a weekday, a Monday, a school night, kind of a thing, why not just change the date of Halloween so that it always falls on a weekend? Well, there is some sense in that, Let it fall, say, on a Saturday night. First of all, people don't have to rip home from their job in most cases to get the little ones ready to take them out and drag them up and down the street. That would be fun. Never mind. And, it's not the mad rush kind of a deal. It would lend itself to the possibility of people having like Halloween parties, maybe kids' parties. Instead of them going out and trick-or-treating, you could control what they're going to have. They have a good time. They have their costumes on, that kind of stuff. That might be nice. That's an easier kind of thing to do on a weekend than it is on a weeknight. But if you're a traditionalist, Halloween always falls on October 31st. Now, I know that Halloween stems from a more ancient, like All Hallows Eve, all that kind of stuff. So those of you that are history buffs and want to be correct about this, I don't need your comments. I know this. Most people do. Okay, I'm looking at it from the modern concept of Halloween. Okay, not your Wiccan thing happening here or whatever. So yeah, it makes maybe sense to change the date, but it's not going to happen. Now and it gets people confused. If not everybody in the world, and I don't think everybody in the world celebrates Halloween as we do in North America. If you, I know that I heard on a news report, there's some place in Quebec where one little town declared Halloween is going to be on the Saturday, but people were confused, so they got 2 nights of Halloween. One was on the Saturday and one was when Halloween actually fell. And then people were confused as to, well, are people coming to my door twice? Things like that. You wouldn't think something like this would get that complicated, but it does. It does. So as far as I'm concerned, leave it on October the 31st. But maybe we need to rethink the format for the sake of safety and for the sake of what it's costing. I mean, I buy $8 of candy. Well, actually, I buy 2, but we eat 1 by the time it's done. We have not traditionally in many years gotten that many kids because of the area we live in. More for us when it's left over, right? And don't tell me you don't eat your Halloween candy and that you're not hoping there's going to be some left over, because we all do. But my philosophy is this: when it's gone, it's gone. The light goes off, bye-bye kids. I'm under no obligation to feed the world on sugar. So if we got rid of Halloween, would it be a bad thing? Because I don't know. Um, I think it's a pain in the butt. I really do. But I know if you're a kid, you're not going to agree with me. And if you're somebody with kids or grandchildren, that kind of thing, you probably like seeing the little ones all dressed up. I hate it, although, when someone comes to my door with a 6-month-old with bunny ears attached to their head. I mean, I want to say, how did you get those bunny ears to stay on there? Staple gunned it? What? Yeah, that's not. One, I don't want to see your little kid. It may be cute to some people. I find it not. And two, that 6-month-old is not going to be eating a Mars bar. Okay? Daddy and mommy are going to be eating the Mars bar. So basically, that's the trick in trick or treat. These parents that bring around the infants, because the trick is they're getting the candy. We're on to you. Don't do it. So, yeah, kill Halloween. We'll be better off for it. Okay. I'm sure some of you are going to write to me about that one. All right, moving on. So, product review. What's new? Nothing. Didn't buy a thing. No, nothing's new. So, move on to the 3D corner. Well, I haven't bought anything really new for my 3D printers, but one thing I do want to talk a little bit about, because I know some people are getting interested in 3D printing. I've had a few people write to me and ask me, what I can recommend, what printer and things like that. And really, I'm not an expert. I just tinker around. But one thing I can tell you that you may want to invest in if you do get a 3D printer, and this may be something that's on people's Christmas list this year, invest in spare parts, because you're going to need them. Now, you see, I have a whole host of spare parts. I stockpile them. Parts can be expensive, but what's even worse is if your printer goes down and you don't have a part to fix it, then your printer's down until you can get a part. And sometimes parts are readily available, depending on the model of the 3D printer you've got, and sometimes they're not as readily available, and that also affects the price. So you can see here, I keep on hand a basic stock of parts. I'm not going to go through what all these parts are, because if you don't have a 3D printer, they don't mean anything to you. But I'm just showing you some of the things. I have a couple of drawers full of spare parts. And that's something you need to understand when you buy a 3D printer. Part of your ongoing maintenance costs on 3D printers is not just the filament you need to buy, but these parts will wear out, some more so than others. So you will need to replace them. And it's not a question of really I was going to say it's not a question of when, but it is. Because they will wear out. It depends on how much you use the printer, and all kinds of other factors on these things. As I've said many times before about 3D printing, it is not plug and play yet. It is for the hobbyist who likes to tinker with machines. Okay? So I strongly suggest, if you've just got a 3D printer or you're thinking about buying a 3D printer, keep in mind that there is an ongoing cost that goes beyond just buying basic filament. So that's what I want to say about that today. So that takes us to Blasts from the Past in terms of trips. And this is part 2 of Rottnest Island, February the 27th, 2018. This island is off the coast of Perth, Australia. And I think in this one, I hope, you get to see the quokkas, the little cute animals that everybody wants their picture. And if you put quokka, and I forget how you spell it, but anyways, you put quokka in YouTube search engine, you are going to find thousands of videos of people with quokkas, because they are the most adorable, the cutest little creatures you're going to find anywhere on the face of this planet. Anyways, I think there might be a peek of those on this one. If not, in part 3, there will be, and that'll be next week. Sorry if you don't get to see quokkas this week.
So we've made it to Rottnest Island now, where we're walking down to go to the site where we have to pick up the bus for this tour we're doing on the island today. Haven't seen any quokka yet. Quokka? Quokka? Quokka. Quokka. Sounds like a dip. Guacamole. What happens when somebody runs over a quokka? You got guacamole. But anyways, it's an interesting little place. Seems like a lot of people take bikes here and ride around. So it must have lots of trails and things for that kind of deal. So anyways, I hope we see some quokkas. Killing some time here as we wait for our tour to begin. And there seems to be a lot of poo on this beach, but we don't think it's quokka poo. It's probably birdie poo, but it's poo. And apparently, this is the only place where the quokkas live. And then people take selfies with the quokkas, but they don't have any natural enemies, and they're supposed to be really friendly, except Walter said he read on the internet that kids were coming over here and playing, what was it, quokka?
Quokka football or something.
Quokka football, where they were kicking the poor little things. Like,
in the 1990s.
In the 1990s. Like, come on, really? Couldn't these people afford a ball? What? Had a quick kick a quokka? You know what happens when they find a dead quokka on the side of the road, hit by a car and squished. Then you have guacamole. And this is their little train station where we have to wait for the pickup for our tour. Got a hell of a lot here to do. train was just on. So this is Oliver Hill. We're standing on top of Oliver Hill on Rottnest Island, looking out over the view of the island. We're taking a panorama.
Anyone want to leave a bag up here? We can put it in the office over here.
So I guess now what we're doing is we're walking up to that top to the lighthouse.
Now, as you can imagine, so with nothing here, you came up on the railway, which was specifically built. They had to build a port. They had to build, they had to build cranes. This whole structure weighs about 140 tonnes. So they had 140 tonnes, but a lot of it prefabricated. They had to bring it up here. They had to build all this structure, and also down below, the tunnels and the magazine down below. Basically what they did, they took the top off the hill, they built it all, then put it all back together again. Then they camouflaged it all, so nobody knew the difference. But anyway, the only reason the two guns are still here, because it was just too hard to take them away again at the end of the war. So, which is a bit lucky on our end, because we get to see something quite amazing, really, when you look at these. I think they're the only guns in place now in this country, the only battery left. All of the harbours, Sydney Harbour, Brisbane, Melbourne, not so much Melbourne, sorry, it was pretty well safe because it had a very big bay. Yeah, Sydney, particularly Sydney and Brisbane, and Darwin had installations like this to protect them as well.
Yeah, we wish you were.
Well, I lied when I said we were going up to the lighthouse. We are actually here. Okay. We're actually at the battery, left over from the Second World War. Huge gun. That's what you were just seeing in the view.
And that takes me to events in the past week. Well, first of all, I got my 5th COVID shot. Walter did not yet. Walter decided to upgrade some of his other shots. He got a hepatitis B shot, and he has to wait 2 weeks before he can get the next COVID shot because of that. So I already had the appointment, so just decided to go ahead with it, and I did. So I've had my 5th COVID shot. Are we ever going to stop having to get COVID shots? I don't think so. I think it's going to become an annual or semi-annual event with that. And, you know, the doom and gloom people out there are predicting that we're going to have a tough winter with COVID and flu. Well, we always have flu, and I always get a flu shot, and I'm just waiting. Actually, I can get the flu shot now because I'm in the special group because I'm 65. And so people 65 and over can get the shot right now. And there's actually a more potent shot, apparently, for those of us that are over 65. But I haven't got it yet because I'm kind of waiting until Walter can get his. And they're not quite readily available yet. November the 1st is more the date for that. And also I'm thinking, well, I should probably wait a couple of weeks after the COVID shot before I get another shot of something else. You know, I'm one of those people that used to be deathly afraid of needles. Now, no, stick me. Yeah. Because I've been stuck so many times like everybody else. You know, we're pincushions, human pincushions with all this. So that was an event this past week. And, of course, we had the retreat. Now, I'm going to do a little bit more of a discussion about the retreat. Now, we did a fairly extensive diagnosis of the aftermath Okay, my words are not coming to me today. We reviewed the retreat and asked for suggestions too for the next one, what we could make better, and people had some great ideas that I'm going to run with for the spring retreat. But on here right now, all I'm going to say is, as far as I was concerned, the retreat was a success. It was a lot of work. That was okay. It's that kind of work I like to do. Okay, it was pleasant work. And everybody seemed to have gotten things done and had a good time. I've already mentioned the speakers. They were absolutely excellent, really added to the whole day in a major way. And yeah, I'm pleased with it. I am pleased with how it turned out. And I'm going to build on this for the next one. So this was retreat number 4 that I have run over the past couple of years. Next one will be sometime in the early spring. I haven't got dates planned for that yet, but I will. So if you were at the retreat, I hope you had a good time. And if you missed the retreat, you missed a good time. Okay, and that's enough about that. So what's coming up? Well, yes. After I finish this today and get it up, I have to start cleaning out an area of my sewing room so the installers of our new windows and doors can get at the windows that are down here that are being replaced. I am not looking forward to this. I'll be happy when it's done. I have no idea how much of a mess there's going to be, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a major mess. So, on the bright side of having to move things away from that area, and there's a lot to move from that area, I'm probably going to find things I forgot I had. I'm sure. And maybe some other surprises. Who knows? So I have to get on with that after I finish this. And Craft and Chat, advance notice. It's not this week, but it's the first Wednesday in November. And that will be 1 week from this Wednesday coming. So it's November the 2nd, starting at 1 p.m., running to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time approximately. And I've already mentioned the fact, that the link is in the show notes, and then you'll get a link if you're on my mailing list. Okay, so is there anything else I can tell you about what's coming up? Nope. I just have to get through the hell of these door and window replacements, and I'll be fine. So this time next week, I'll be able to show you the new doors and windows. So that'll be exciting. Well, for me, maybe not for you. Okay, that's it for me today. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye for now.